Okay, and we're back, folks. Mega Mac Cat here, going to part 2 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Battle Tendency. And last time when we left off, I had just beaten part 1, which should be uploaded by the time this video gets out there, but I'm working on stuff here. Alright, so the pigeon and the girl. Alright, and check secret missions, show the mission requirements. And a Hominid enhanced skill. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and start playing this. Now this, part 2 takes place many years later, and it actually deals with 50 years after the end of Jonathan Joestar. It deals with his grandson, Joseph Joestar. After striking oil, speedrunning has accrued untold riches, which basically Joseph Joestar decides to move from England to New York, the United States. Joseph is the grandson of Jonathan Joestar. He engaged in a fierce battle with one of the Pillarmen in a lab run by the German officer. Yeah, basically Joseph gets drawn into a fight with a bunch of very, very, very dangerous individuals who are like Dio, immortal, super powerful vampires. He beats one of them, but now there's 3 others that have to be destroyed. So, starting from that rather crazy and unusual premise, if the 3 Pillarmen were to awaken, they would certainly destroy the world. Joseph and Speedwagon hurry to Rome, Italy, where someone is waiting for them. Caesar Sapelli, the grandson of Willem Sapelli. Tensions soon arise between Joseph and Caesar. Incensed by his wanting attitude, as that he'll teach Caesar a lesson. Now this is a 1-round battle. And you can use different support effects. Alright, now I didn't show this last time, but there is a menu here that shows all the settings and everything, so that's all here, including the listings for all the different moves. And So we're going to go ahead and take on Sapelli here and see if we can't take him down. Now Joseph fights in a much more, what would you describe it as? I guess you'd say a much more sort of easygoing fighting style. He really is sort of a loose cannon type of character. Has a very sort of fun-loving attitude at this point, which is a very big difference from how he appears later on in the series. But because he shows up in the 3rd actually as an old man, and he's very different. Now, what was that last move? It says counterattack that correctly anticipates the opponent's taunt if the opponent's non. There we go. That's right. One of Joseph's weapons is a gun. Yeah, I think this is it for him. Alright, so I got 2 out of the 3. I never could get that whole counter move thing to work. Like I said, he plays a lot differently than the way Jonathan did. Jonathan was a much more direct fighter. Joseph is a much more indirect character, which I think has more to do with the fact that his fighting style revolves primarily around range and trickery, as opposed to his grandfather, who was all about beating you down and cutting you up. So. Now there's a hilarious joke in that almost all the bad guys in the series, I mean almost all of them, are in some way named after rock bands, and later on some of the stands themselves are named after rock bands. But here you can see this. Cars, as in the Cars, AC/DC, as in the rock group. The only one I don't recognize is WAMU, but that may simply be that that's a group that I'm not familiar with, or that came out well before my my time in the way of things. But I'll deal with that. Alright, so let's get fighting. Now these guys are actually really tough. Now, using those bonus effects can actually give you a big hand, although you don't necessarily require them. They are handy at times. Oh, and see? I don't know, did he just get hit? Because I could have sworn I was still on the same path. Sucks to be you regardless. I love that as a great trophy joke. And as you can see, Joseph's fighting style is very much weapon-centric. Guns and boomerangs and all kinds of weird stuff, so I admire that he uses that kind of stuff, but it's sort of odd how it differs from the way he fights later on in the series. Okay, so oh, and I missed it. It only works if you're close. That being said, it's over for him. Yeah, Joseph's primary weapons are always those strange, what he calls the clacker boomerangs. And I actually looked it up. I guess those were like a really popular toy in that era. The differences in culture from the day. Anyway. Alright, so that's one victory. Now Wamu's really giving me the beating. But I can turn that around. Dang it, did not land it. I'm kind of cheating here by having that almost constantly refilling energy gauge, but it does the job. And you know what? I'm just here to win. Saves me time. I am, however, going to try and get his special finisher off, because the level finisher is pretty cool. It's over. Alright, and over. Now show me the ultimate. No, darn it. He was not in position. This area is always kind of tricky because you have to be in exactly the right position at exactly the right time for it to catch. But if you do, it has a really cool dramatic finish. Either way. Disturbing AC/DC. Player's defense is cut, which means you take way more damage. Yeah, I don't think I need a bonus on this one. Yeah, this guy's just kind of creepy all around, actually. It's like I said, the villain's really, the best villain in the series, hands down, is Dio. Some of the other villains are pretty interesting, but Dio was always the best. This guy's just kind of creepy. Oh, and I got hit by the horses. That sucked. I will admit to being nowhere near as good with Joseph as I am with Jonathan or some of the later characters. In fact, in part 3, my best characters come out because I'm actually familiar with those characters from the earlier fighting game that this came after. There was an arcade game made by Capcom USA. Well, not Capcom USA, but made by Capcom and released in the USA and actually re-released on the, what do you call it? Re-released on the Xbox Live and PSN networks, which I do have, which I may actually do a playthrough down the road. Or at least do give you a little video on it. It's over. You got him with the guns. Now the girl in the background is actually goes by the name of Lisa, and she's one of the she is one of the characters. She's one of the characters in the game that, you know, isn't actually a playable character. Yet in the comics, she had a much bigger role because she was the person who taught Joseph how to fight. Get in the path of the horses. Dang it. What the hell? I never know what to make of that move other than the fact that it weirds me the crap out. Doesn't matter, he's gonna be done here in a bit. It's over. Got it. Dang it. And he didn't win either. I didn't get the finishing on him either, which kind of sucks. So didn't do too bad on that. Next episode, moving on. And now AC/DC is available in the other modes. There is something I should note to people who are interested in this. There are certain modes that are not yet active because apparently there's been a delay in pushing out the software needed for it. The game itself is available, but the online and the campaign modes are not. And that is more to do with Sony and their poor efforts at, at their digital distribution. I give them credit for a lot of their effort. They've done really good stuff on there, but they mess up a lot of stuff. Player starts with 50% health. Now for him, I do need to use an effect on this because this level handicaps you badly. So it's good to have an advantage.
父が貴様らの罠に殺されたあの当時にだ。冷酷、残忍、その俺が貴様を倒すぜ。
Yeah, Caesar's got some history.
いいだろう。まずこのワムーに殺される資格はある。
Now Caesar uses a lot of the same type of technique and tricks that his grandfather used. The biggest difference being that he uses them much more efficiently. All of his attacks, and I mean the vast majority of his moves, deal specifically with the idea of using water and light as a weapon, which is actually really cool. I kind of like that. In fact, here's an example. An energy-infused bubble attack. You wouldn't think that would work, but it does. But yeah, when it comes down to the various characters, he's one of the better. Especially if you're a zone player, if you like to do like range work. Because this guy he just has the range all covered. You don't get near him if he doesn't want you to. And his finisher is actually one of my favorites. Watch. Oh, you lucky bastard. I gave him too much time to get out of the way. My mistake on that. One of the things about his is you have to time his attack right, or else you're gonna give them a chance to dodge it, and that can be costly.
以前ならいざ知らず、今のこのシーザーが負けるわけがない。
And you do see like the standard stuff like tech rolls and other moves that are common in fighting games as part of this game's structure. So it does very much use a very efficient fighting engine. My biggest complaint about it is that it feels at times as if certain characters are unbalanced. Particularly, and as much as I love him, I have to say this. Dio, the early version of Dio, is a lot less powerful than his later version, which admittedly would make sense except for the fact that the early version of Dio was just as lethal. He just went about it in a completely different way. But either way, I can deal with this guy. Oh yeah, he's using that wind trick or whatever it is. I don't know what he's doing with that invisibility thing because I can still see him plain as day, but it isn't helping him. And it leaves him exhausted too. It's like, why use a move that leaves you tired? Got him. This should do it. It's over. I love this trick. He actually directs light through the lenses and has you surrounded by it. Burns you alive from the inside. That's gotta suck. Dang it! I didn't get the special finish on any of these levels, and I know it's there because I pull it off all the time on the demo version. But all right. So, next episode, moving on. Now, each progressive episode gets a little bit longer. But even by the standards of most video game story modes, it's relatively slow. Or, well, and it also takes longer, not because of the fights themselves, but because of the long loading times. Even by comparison to most fighting game stories, especially as of late, it feels a little bit short. Especially when you compare it to like Injustice, or for example, the Amazing Mortal Kombat, you know? Attack power is cut, is it? Well, I can turn the tide on that. Back when I played this in Japanese, I never used those as much, but now that I have access, I'm actually thinking it's kind of fun to turn the tables.
Jojo. Round 1. Fight!
Dang it. He dodged my cracker volley. Man, when did he get tough? Wasn't this hard when I fought him as freaking Zappelli. Got him. Okay, starting to annoy me. Starting to really freaking annoy me. There we go. Cracker volley and activate. Oh, that wind protector blocks long range. That explains it. Didn't seem to work that well against Zappelli's abilities, though. Got him with that secondary attack. Still walked into it regardless. Got him. Now, put the smackdown on him. Yeah. And he isn't even the hardest of these guys. The actual final boss of this particular part is way more difficult. Ha! Bringing down the house with the hammer. Oh! Yeah, you freaking counter me, will you? Huh. Give you a beatdown. Yeah. His moves are cool, but they're not my particular favorite. I'm not a big fan. I actually much prefer I much prefer Jonathan's moves. Granted that's a personal choice more than anything else, but I do find some of his stuff hilarious because he's so silly. Oh yeah, I think I got it this time. Please tell me I got him in the right position. Nope, damn. I wonder if they've turned the stage finish off in this battle. No, it doesn't matter. I won. Alright, so next episode. Like I said, this video will be a bit longer than the last one, but we're getting close. So now we face Cars, who is admittedly a very powerful opponent.
畑に捨てられカビが生えてハエもたからねえカボチャみてえに腐りきってやがるぜ。このカーズはこのようにゆっくり近づき花を摘むように貴様の命を刈り取るまで。
Yeah, he is he is a real challenge because he is very powerful. But he's easy to counterattack if you know how he fights. At least in this form. He does have a second form that he pops out later that is way more challenging. Yeah, he's really giving me a hard time. Part of it's because you can't actually generate any special power in this mission by using your attacks. You have to actually do it. You have to actually do it manually. Oh great! He used the freaking stone mask, and now he's a super powerful ultimate life form, which sucks. Now he fights a little bit like Dio, actually. I don't know what the crap he just did. Did he throw a squirrel at me? I honestly think he threw a squirrel at me. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, you get airborne if you want. It ain't gonna help you. Got him. You egotistical little punk. And like I said, I much prefer the old Joestar later on in part 3 than the younger one. The younger one was just kind of a twerp. And he's a very good fighter and all that, but still he's a dick. I mean, yeah, I'll give him points because he saves the world and all that junk, but I was like, you know what? You know what? You're already awesome. You don't need to be a dick about it. There we go. Get some counters and some combos going on here. You get your butt back on the ground. Did not give you permission to fly. Oh, whoa. It's over. I should have him now. That's a beauty hit. Still didn't get the ultimate finish, but that's okay. There we go. Yeah, good enough. Alright, I think that's it. I think that wraps up part 2. Good for the next episode. Yes. Oh, one more fight, huh? Oh, this is going longer than I anticipated. That's okay. Yeah, I definitely want to give myself a bit of a boost on this one.
私の働きを忘れないでください。
Alright.
たった一つだけ策はある。ジョジョ、貴様だけはどうしても今殺さなくてはならない。
Oh, I think I made him mad. Yep. Ultimate life form mode.
誕生祝いだ。ゆっくりとと。
Yeah, he is by far much more powerful in this version than he was last time. Not that it's not possible to win in a straight up fight, but he is difficult. Again, he freaking threw something. I think he threw a squirrel at me or something. Sure looked like it. Squirrel or a rat or some junk, I don't know. Whatever he throws, it like looks like a squirrel, but I can't be sure. Dang it. This is gonna be a hard fight because he does not know when to quit. Oh, I completely missed my target. Yes, he's throwing a freaking squirrel at me. Yeah, it's almost done for you. All right. Yes, you're good. Can we get on to finishing this? Okay, I will give you that. Wow. Alright, so he's almost done and he's just being annoying right now. I'm really wanting to get him in that... Whoa! Okay, I will give credit. That was a good move, dude. Gotta get him to stay on the ground long enough for me to finish him. There we go. Let's see if we can land it. There it is. And that is that. Only perfect because I was regenerating my health.
カーズの追撃により重傷。
この呼吸法だ。ハモンズ無限の谷底へ。何？
石
鳥に変身して逃れてやる。
さすが地球のエネル。だから俺のさっき切断された手が。そうカーズ、貴様はこれも当たり前だぜ。
So yeah, basically in the comics, he steals a fighter plane. The two of them have a brawl on the plane. They dump each other into a volcano. Yet he somehow lives through it. Cars is killed. He loses a hand.
鉱物と生物の中間の生命体となり、そして死に体とそのうちカーズ。一方、死んだと思われ。
Yeah, he somehow manages to live through it. And he sort of goes on and actually lives a normal life for a while. Up until part 3, but we'll get to part 3. Alright, so that's that. Next time, I will show you JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3, the most well-known and most popular part, Stardust Crusaders. Until then, this is the Mega Mac Cat, and I will see you all for the next episode. Have a good one. Signing off, folks.